Hey fam, I hope all is well. Hope everyone is safe and hustling and living and enjoying life. Um, I'm actually in my husband's office slash um extra room in the house. Um, Guest room. Um, I got a lot to talk about. I have a lot to talk about. Um, Today was a lot for me. Um, I've been, I want to talk to you about betrayal. And I think I'm going to have this in maybe 3 or 4 parts. And I say that because it's 3 or 4 people that I want to have story time with. Um, I'm not going to mention names, but I will mention uh, the relative, if it's a friend or the cousin or the daughter or the son. I will mention son or daughter or cousin or this. Um, this is my content. This is the platform I'm on to talk, to share Jerry's world with you, um, with no judgment, I hope. You understand? First, I got on my little dress that I bought from Shein 2 summers ago. I have on my sterling silver diamond necklace and my little H is for homes. I have on my little diamond out earrings, my little rings, my little butterfly rings. All this stuff that I have on, I used to sell. All right. But anyway, I've been betrayed by some members of my family. Um, I want to start off my first part with my cousin, right? Um, During COVID, everybody was trying to find a way to get money. Everybody was trying to find a way to feed their kids. Everybody was getting a hustle on, whether that meant robbing the next person to get what they needed to get, so be it. At that time, people just didn't care. I was scammed. So it was that it was that part of time during COVID, right? So I'm going to talk about my cousin. Um, when COVID started, I don't know. Some people may call it a Ponzi, but I kind of looked at it as a susu, and it took me back from when I was working in New York. Um, it was about 10. We had a group of like 10 women, and every payday we would have a list of 10 women, and every payday we go down the list. We'll put our pot in, which was maybe like $50. So, you know, 10 women, $50. That's $500, right? So each payday, whoever was on the list got the $500. And I say, that's an extra chunk of change when you have a family to raise, or you have things to do, or maybe you want to go on vacation, whatever you want to use the money for, that was your business, right? So during COVID, we were introduced into this, I'm going to just say susu, right? We were introduced, when I say we, my husband and myself, were introduced to this suzu via one of our close friends, right? And she made it seem like this was the best thing. We can get money every week, or every other week, whoever, because it was so many people in this pot that the money was just circulating. The money is just rolling, right? So we was getting money. I was getting maybe $1,000 a week, right? And after a while, it was going good. It was going good. But then people were being greedy. People were being manipulative. And things got messy. But before all of that happened, the very beginning, at that time, my cousin and I were close, and we always were calling and checking up on each other because of COVID, right? We would conversate, talking this, talking that, and she was like, "Cuz, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I need money, this, that, and the third." And I told her, I said, "Well, I'm in this pot, in this susu. Every so often, everybody get this amount of money. Do you want to join?" Right? So she was like, "Yeah, that don't sound like a bad idea. I can use, I could use that money. I can use that money for, my bills and catch up on my bills, this, that, and that. I don't mind investing, but as long as I'm getting a big outcome." So I said, "Well, when would you want to join? Because I have to let them know so I can put your name on the list." So she was just like, put me down, I'm down, I'm down with that, da 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 da. Actually hyping me up, right? So I says, "Okay, I'll put in a word for you, but by next Friday, you need to have this amount to put into the pot." And so they can put your name on the board. So she's like, "Okay, no problem." So during that week, now, which, people tell on themselves, because like I tell you, me and my cousin, we talked every week, right? And so leading up to the week she was supposed to give me the money to put into the pot, I hadn't heard from her. So then the second week rolled by and I hadn't heard from her. So I know my cousin. So I'm like, oh, here we go with the bullshit. Now, mind you, I already told the girl that I'm going to include my cousin, put my cousin's name down in the pot. And she says, all right, whenever she's ready, right? So I hadn't heard from my cousin for 2 weeks. That was out of the norm because we spoke every week, right? If something was wrong, if something happened, I'm not going to make a call because I know my cousin that well, right? So I said, she's full of shit. All she had to say was she didn't want to be in it, right? So I said, whoever was involved in that, asked me, did the person you say you was coming in, is that person still coming in? So I'm like, you know what? Let me call and see if this person is still interested. I'm sure my cousin was banking on me not calling and asking. So I said, "Cuz, are you going to be in the pot, or should I just tell them no?" Yeah, let me get my money together. I'll call you back. An hour passed by. 2 hours passed by. Now, if she didn't want to be in it, all she had to say was no, right? No. And I would have kept it moving. 1 hour passed, 2 hour passed. Now we're going on to the third hour. Third hour comes. My husband gets a call from his best friend. and says to me, yo, why Jarina's cousins calling me, asking me about some susu? She asking me if I'm in the susu with them. What? She don't even talk to this man. She don't even have a relationship with this man. So you're going to get on IG and get in contact with my husband's friend to ask him if he's in the susu with us. She goes, I just wanted to know because I'm about to invest this money and I just want to make sure I'm not going to get ripped off. You would call my husband's best friend as opposed to talking to me, your cousin, who always had your back? Who always had your back? You're not woman enough to share that piece of information or those couple of questions with me? And I'm the one who asked you to join. All you had to say was, cuz I'm going to have to pass on this. But you go behind my back and you ask my husband's friend, and these two dudes are friends from kids to adults. So you think my husband's friend ain't gonna call his man? Ain't gonna call his boy and find out what the fuck is all this about? He told my cousin, no, I don't know nothing. I don't know everything Mark do. I don't know. So she said, okay, that's all I wanted to know. But before she can call me back, he already got in touch with my husband. And he was bothered by that because he's met her. We've been in the same settings. We've even did a little mini vacation together. But you don't really know him like that to be calling him and asking him those type of questions, right? So after my husband got off the phone with his friend, I called her. And I was livid. I ripped this B a new a-hole. That was a betrayal. Because if you didn't trust the process, right? We talk about everything in this whole world. You mean to tell me you couldn't call and say, cuz, I'm going to have to pass on this one. But you created a whole mess just to get out of something. And she's notorious for that. This woman is so devious. I'm going to put you back to, high school. When she was graduating or supposedly graduating high school. She manipulated her own graduation. She wasn't even graduating that year, right? Because she owed credits. She had to do summer school, night school, and maybe the next year she was graduating. So she was going to graduate late. She wasn't graduating with her original graduating class. She had her father, her mother, all of her sisters. I didn't go that day. I just didn't go. Didn't go, right? Go to find out. She went up on the stage. This is crazy. This is how she think. Yo. They called one person to come up and get their diploma, right? She gets up and comes up behind them and she's walking with them. So when the principal is giving the person in front of her the certificate, she immediately comes up and just shakes the principal's hand and walks along with the other person that was in front of her. And from what I heard, everybody was on stage like, what was that about? That's how grimy she is, yo. From a kid to now adult. I could not fix myself to walk across the stage knowing that it's just not my time right now. I got to work a whole semester in order for me to get my diploma. She lied to her father. She lied to her mother. She lied to her sisters and everybody else who came to see her walk across that stage in high school. That was crazy. But so back to the suzu. So she called my husband's friend, like I said. He hung up the phone. And when my husband got off the phone, I called her. I said, what the F is this I'm hearing you calling my husband's friend to see if he's in the suzu? Oh, I just wanted to know. You just wanted to know. You just wanted to know. You could have asked me that. You could have asked me that. And you think my husband's friend wasn't going to call him and ask him, why is this bitch calling me? Wasting my time with this dumb shit? You didn't think that that was going to happen? Do you know the closeness and the magnitude of their relationship? Obviously you don't. Because had you known that, you would not have never called him. So I said to her, I said, you betrayed me, bitch. You betrayed me. Because all it was a simple conversation. And I would have moved on. I would have moved on. I probably would have put my money in your spot. And so collecting $1,000 a week, it would have been 2 G's a week. So I didn't have a problem with that. Because at that time we was making money. Money was rolling in. Right? I cursed her out. I said some unchoice things to her. She says to me, why are you yelling and screaming at me? Because you betrayed me, bitch. You betrayed me. You went over to somebody who's not even your relative and you asked them a question that he knew nothing about. You betrayed me. So with that being said, I'm not fucking with you. I'm good. So almost through COVID, all the way through COVID, basically, I didn't speak to her. Like, I just did not speak to her. Somebody's calling me. Hold on. Let me see if I can. I didn't call her. I didn't speak to her. I had a conversation with my aunt, and I told my aunt what happened, and she said, Jarena, that's your cousin, this, that, and the third. Y'all can work it out. It's not that serious. It is serious. When you go behind my back and ask somebody a question that you could have asked me, and I could have just moved on, that was a lot of time wasted. A lot of time wasted. But as the money was rolling in and the boards was getting busy and busy and busy, right? This was like maybe a month or two after the incident with my cousin, right? So I'm done talking about her right now. But we're going to go on to the suzu boards and stuff, right? There was a lot of underhanded shit going on. And they would send us copies of the board for us to memorize to know when it's our turn to get our money, right? So I'm looking at these boards and I'm telling my husband, something don't seem right. Because although we got more people in, it should be more time to distribute this money. It should be more time for people to get their money and put more money in the pot so we can get paid. So now I told y'all I was getting $1,000 every week. Now it's going into 2 weeks, almost the third week that I'm just waiting to receive $1,000, right? I told my husband something ain't right. They owe me about 3 G's because, like I said, $3,000 is a lot of money. Back in COVID, people didn't have their jobs. It was a lot of craziness going on. My husband is like, oh, well, we'll talk to the manager and tell her what's going on because it looks right to me. And I said, it don't look right to me. One thing about me, y'all, I'm a lot of things, but I don't mess with my money. I count my money down to the cent, right? So I knew, I said, uh-oh, something ain't right. Because it was going good. It was going good. That money was flowing. Everybody was getting money. Everybody was getting money. Until we wasn't. But that time, my cousin was supposed to be in. Like I said, 3 weeks had passed. She would have got paid at least 2 times. She would have gotten paid at least 2 times. But then go to find out our friend who asked us to join in, she tells me that is something going on with the board. It's something going on with the lady who introduced her to the suzu. So now I gotta fall back. Because I'm not gonna keep giving you my money and I ain't getting nothing in return. So that was dismantled. Just recently, maybe a year or so ago, she was over at my son's house and she asked, gee, what actually came, because now we're speaking. This has been some years now. So now we're speaking because my aunt said it's the right thing to do. And she said, well, what really went on with this? And I explained to her the same thing I explained to you what happened. And she said, mm-hmm. I says, okay. Lesson learned. So I lost maybe $200 because I invested $50 every pot, right? And I was in like 4 pots, 3-4 pots, $50 in each pot. So I took that as a loss. I took it as a loss. But I say this, all we had to do was have a conversation. That's it. She's very devious. And she's just devious. She signed her own divorce papers so she can go on and marry the next dude. She forged her ex-husband's signature so she can go ahead and get divorced and marry this next dude. And then he found out because the paperwork had to be notarized, right? And somewhere down the line, her ex-husband found out what she did. Me, in my opinion, I really think one of her kids ratted her out. I really believe one of her kids ratted her out, told the father what she was doing. He went and called the cops and told the cops that she forged his signature, right? And he wants her locked up because that's forgery. And in the state of Virginia, that's common law, commonwealth. They don't play those type of games. My cousin, I was called by the cops and they told me they on my way over to lock me up because I forged Andre's. She said they say I forged his signature. I said, well, did you? Well, I wanted to get married and didn't say yes or no, but just saying, I wanted to get married. And he wasn't signing the papers. He was giving me a hard way to go. And I'm like, cuz you can get divorces now without the dude's signature, without him signing papers. You may have to pay a little extra, but at least you'll be divorced. So it was a big thing. She was scared. She was going to jail. I'm on the phone with her. You know, somewhere down the line, her and her ex-husband probably made some type of agreement. If I don't press charges on you, I don't have to pay child support. Because she didn't come out and say it, but she came out and said it. You understand what I'm saying? So she's just like, I just don't want to go to jail. I never knew why he never signed the papers. So I had to do what I had to do. And she also involved our other cousin because she's a notary. And she notarized the divorce papers. And she got in trouble as well. And her mother, which is my other aunt, made her tell the truth. You're not going to jail for some bullshit this bitch had you doing. So you're going to tell the cops what it really is. And that's what it was. And whatever agreement her and her ex-husband had, the charges was dropped. She moved on with her life. And I don't think that dude, the ex-husband, even paid child support for his own child. Because of her conniving ass. She's a lot of things, yo. She's a lot of things. And I don't know how she got this far. I don't know. I have done all I can for people, even my kids. They betrayed me. That's the next story. My husband betrayed me. That's another story. And I sit and I take it. It was all right when she was going through the divorce. I used to do the overnight shift. I used to work for a lab and I worked overnight. So when I get off work in the morning, I have to walk 2 blocks to get on the New Jersey transit train. And it's an hour home from where I worked every day. So this morning she calls me and she's like, oh, I can't take it no more. I wish this nigga signed these papers, this, that, and the third. Oh, but you calling me 6 o'clock in the morning. I just got off work. But how I look at it is she's my blood. She needs somebody to vent to. I'm tired. I got to walk 3 blocks to the train. It was a lot. You know, it was a lot. And I never shut her out. Never. Whatever she was going through with her kids, one of her kids was getting ready to get locked up for some shit behind some white girl. You know, I rocked with you. I stayed up early in the morning, rocking with you, conversating with you, trying to figure this shit out with you. Never gave up on you. She is a lot of things, yo. She's a lot of things. And I don't know how she gets through in this society betraying and conniving people. And I sit and question myself. Why do I have to be the good one? Because it seems like every time I'm good to people, I get kicked right in the butt. Right in the butt. So another instance, last summer, I told her I was going to my son's house for a couple of weeks. And it was ending, summer was ending because it was Labor Day weekend, right? When I left to go to my son's house. And before I left, I called her and I said to her, what y'all doing for the weekend? What y'all doing? Maybe me and Keisha drive by and, I'll bring some wine or something. So she's like, oh, we ain't really doing nothing because next week I'm going, me and my new husband, I ain't gonna say his name, is going on vacation to Jamaica. I think that's what she said. So I'm like, oh, okay, but if y'all decide, let me know because I'm just sitting in the house, ain't doing much. So she's like, all right, cuz I'll let you know if I'm having something or not. So I'm like, all right. Ain't really think nothing of it. Now the weekend is here. I'm scrolling on IG. I fell back from IG tremendously. I depleted all of my followers. I just got a few people on there that I allowed to follow me or I follow them. IG was crazy for me. So I fell back a lot. But this day I just happened to look on IG and see up in the little circles and the little bubbles on IG, she's posting all of the food she cooked, her and her husband cooked for the holiday. And it's in the backyard. It's in her backyard. And I'm like, she's having a barbecue. She couldn't tell me I'm out here in Bmore, an hour away from Virginia. We could have been there in an hour. Like, why wouldn't you invite me? Right? So I looked at the video and just said, I had enough. I can't do this anymore with this chick. And there's other things prior to the little things I'm just mentioning. Way more things. Because she's done some grimy-ish to me when we were younger. And I'll give you another example when I finish this. But I realized that this last year, Labor Day weekend, I was done with her. I was done. If I never see her again, I'm okay. I'm okay. Family ain't shit. And I'll say that to anybody. Family ain't shit. Family ain't shit. And if I never see her again or her family, I'm good. I am good. But when I was in my 20s, I had my daughter. My daughter was about 2 or 3 years old. She maybe 3 or 4. Maybe about 3 or 4. And so, I wanted better. She was living in Virginia at the time. All of my cousins picked up and moved to Virginia. I was the only one out of the cousins who was still in New York because I was with my husband now, my boyfriend then, husband now, right? And she would always tell me every conversation. Once again, we always talked on the phone, always talked. We were like cousin best friends, right? And she would say, cuz, you need to come out here. The schools are good. The environment is good. You need to raise, your daughter out here. Come out here with us. So for months and months, I'm talking to her. I'm talking to my boyfriend, now husband. Maybe we should make this move. Maybe it's best for us, a better life for the kids. My child at that time, I didn't have my son yet. It's a better life. Let's think about it. So my husband was like, he's always for anything positive. I got to say that. He's always, if I bring up something positive, if as long as it's positive, let's do it. If this is what you want, is going to make you happy, let's do it. I gave up my job, started packing. We moved out of our apartment. My husband went and lived with his mother. We gave up our apartment so we can save, so we can bank a couple of dollars, so we'll have money to get a new apartment or get any apartment that we wanted to. That gave me time to, after I packed up, me and my daughter got on the bus and we went to Virginia, right? We get to Virginia, mind you, I had to move out a whole 2-bedroom apartment. I had to give up my job. I had to do some changes with bank, everything. There was a lot of moving around. We had to put our stuff in storage. It was a lot of things we had to do, right? So upon doing that, I got our stuff together. I packed me and my daughter's clothes. And my cousin said, come stay with us. You know, you should have a job in no time. You save your money, get your place, this, that, and the third. So I'm like, yeah, bet. That sounds good. As long as my cousin got my back, I'm good. Me and my daughter took the bus to Virginia. And my cousin gave me her entire flat ass to kiss. She made me feel this small because now I don't have my man. I'm vulnerable because I'm out here by myself. Don't know nothing about Virginia. Totally banking on the knowledge that she's going to give me and how to get around and maneuver in Virginia, right? Did that. Get there, I'm so exhausted. Like, I literally felt like I ran an entire marathon. My body was tired. My head, I had the worst headache for like 2 days. You know, my daughter was little. We trying to figure it out. When I got there, I had an interview for 3 jobs. I had sent my resume off 2 weeks before I got there, right? So by the time I got there, I was called for 2 interviews, two or 3 interviews, and I spoke to them back, set up these interviews, went on one of the 3 interviews, and ended up getting a job. So now I have to go through training, right? But training wasn't for like another week or so. So I had a little time to figure out what I'm gonna do with my daughter, if I'm gonna put her in daycare. What am I going to do? Or leave her with my cousin because she so-called thought she was a child care provider, right? So she was taking care of 2 other kids of her friends, right? So when I got there, that morning when I got there, she was like, cuz please don't lay all over the couch. And I was sitting up, but I was nodding off. So she said, cuz please don't lay on the couch because when the kids come, I want the mother to see that I have a professional setting going on. So I said, okay, cuz, no problem. So I'm sitting on the couch. I just finished getting my daughter dressed. It was early in the morning. I didn't want to walk around this woman's house in my pajamas. I got up, I showered, I got myself dressed, I got my child dressed, and I'm sitting here trying to figure out what's next, right? So I'm sitting on the couch, and as I'm sitting on the couch, my daughter and her daughter, they somewhat similar in age. They're playing around in the house, being kids. So I'm sitting on the couch, and I must have just not dozed off. I dozed off. And she says to me, cuz, didn't I tell you I don't want you sleeping on my couch? Didn't I tell you that these kids, talking to me as if I'm her child, and I'm older than her. Talking to me as if I'm her child. So I snap out of it. I said, who the fuck you talking to? Who are you talking to? I'm talking to you. You don't know how to follow instructions because I told you I don't want you sleeping on the couch. I said, you make it seem like I'm laying across your couch with a blanket over me. I am sitting upright, just like I'm upright talking to you guys. Just like I'm upright talking to you guys. But I just happen to just doze off because my body is tired from moving from Brooklyn to Virginia. tired. And this woman was talking to me crazy. And her husband, her first husband at the time, came out the room and is like, why are you talking to your cousin like that? She's just sitting there. Well, I don't want nobody closing their eyes and going to sleep. I told her what I wanted. I said to her, I stood up and I said, I don't know who the F you think you talking to, but I'm a grown fucking woman. And you must realize that I'm older than you as well. I'm not going to have you disrespecting me because I never disrespected you. Never. Right? It was a big thing. We were ready. We were about to throw blows. So I called my aunt, who also lives in Virginia. She's a piece of shit too. You know, I called her and I said, Auntie, could you come and get me and take me and my child back to the bus? Because I'm not doing this. I mean, that was the first biggest mistake I've ever made in my life, because I already know her history. I already knew her history. She's trifling. She used to tell me all the mean and evil things that she used to do to her husband's uncle because she didn't want him in her house. But I never thought it would be me because we were so close. At least I thought that's what we were. At least that's what I thought. Right? Long story short, I ended up going over my aunt's house and she betrayed me as well. She betrayed me as well. When I talked to her, I said, could you please take me and my child back to the bus? I'm going back to Brooklyn. No, I want you to stay. You did all this moving. We're going to try to work it out. We're going to figure it out. You come by me. You and the baby come by me. Go by her. Her husband's a freaking weirdo because this Negro asked to wash my clothes. Do you want me to wash your clothes? Why? You want to smell my panties? Because you're weird. You asking another woman if I need my clothes washed? No, I can wash my own clothes. I'm grown. I don't need nobody to help me wash my clothes. Oh, okay. You know, I just was asking. Why is your husband asking me if I want him to wash my fucking clothes? That's crazy. That is crazy. So now it's time for me to go for this training because I'm not giving up. So now I'm at my aunt's house with her husband and her 2 kids. Now it's time for me to go for training for this new job. I go one day for training. By this time, my daughter went to the same daycare her daughter was going to because they're similar in age. So everything was kind of handed to me because they all had kids, my kids' age. So we knew where the best schools were, the best child care was. So that was not a problem, right? Go for the training. The training is all day, right? Mind you, I'm still kind of feeling jet laggish because I had a lot to do before I came to Virginia. My aunt picks me up from my training. We get in the car and she says to me, Jarena, I can't do this. I can't do this. I looked at her and said, do what? I can't, work all day and then worry about getting you to work and worry about picking you up. And I said to her, Auntie, it's only for a short time. When Mark get down here, my husband, my boyfriend at the time, my daughter's father, when he gets down here, You don't have to worry about that. We're going to find a place and we're going to move forward, right? I don't know. I says, all right, no problem. When we get back to your house, I'm going to pack my clothes and you can drive me to the bus. Because I asked you, when I called you, I asked you to bring me back to the bus. And you told me, no, we're going to work this out. But the minute you get a little stress because you're trying to help family out, trying to help family succeed, it's a problem. I said, all right. You don't have to worry about me either. When I left my cousin's house, I knew that I would never speak to that hoe again. I'm good. Because you sold me a dream. I gave up my I gave up my apartment. I gave up my good paying job to come out here and try to build. And it seems like every time I try to build, I get shut down by my family, yo. My family, it's like they don't want me to be better than them. They don't want me to grow and to bloom and to blossom. Screw family. Screw family. So that next morning, her husband is driving me to the bus depot. You know this motherfucker, and excuse my French, he didn't even help me take our luggage out the bag. He popped the trunk and said, see you later. Years later, him and my wife divorced. He was having an affair with a woman on his job. I don't care how karma comes. I am a product. I'm God's child. We all are. But when you do something wrong to his child, he's going to rectify the situation. And he did. She ended up divorcing him. Finding out, I think he had a baby by this woman. His job got involved. It was a whole hell of a mess. And my cousin was going through the same thing. The same thing. And both of them betrayed me. Both of them. Because I trusted them. I trusted them. You know. So, everybody say family is everything. And yeah, and that's what I thought. That's how I was raised. But my cousin showed me. My aunt showed me. And I got more stories to tell you after this one. Family ain't S-H-I-T. Family ain't crap. I dismantled every last one of them. I don't F with them. I am the type of person, I will allow you to do me wrong. We can have a discussion, we can fix it and move on. I'll allow you to do it again. Maybe a third time, maybe a fourth time. So a bitch had it. A bitch had it. So, family ain't always family. And I hate that word family. I hate that word family. Because my kids showed me family don't mean shit to them. My cousin showed me, cousins, plural, showed me family ain't shit to them. My own father showed me family ain't shit to them. So at the end of the day, y'all ain't shit. Y'all ain't shit. And I'm okay with that. I'm 55 years old. It's almost time for me to retire soon. I just want to love on my man and live my best life. I cannot do this family-ish, not even with my kids. I can't do it no more. I'm not doing it no more. And I had a long conversation with God this morning in front of my husband. I put my hands up to God and told him, your will be done. But for right now, I'm good. I'm good. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. If I never speak to them, I'm good. My kids too. My kids too. That's another story coming. That's another story coming. And I'm not ashamed to say what I need to say, because I'm sure we all are going through this. We all put our trust in family, and family turn around and give us their ass to kiss. My own kids have given me their ass to kiss. But I bet you they won't do it no more. They won't do it again. You know? So I wish everybody well. And like I said, this is a part of my healing as well. Getting certain things off of my chest. Stop sugarcoating life, because life sucks. Life sucks, and life is what you make it. But for me right now, I'm feeling that life sucks. Tomorrow I can wake up feeling another way. But for right now, life sucks. I'm about to move out of this home. My husband and I, this is actually a rental. We rented this home during COVID. So we've been in this house since COVID. We've been in this house since COVID. And I tried to make this house our home, but it was never appreciated. It was never appreciated. And that's a story that I'll share with you maybe on my next video or the video after that. But anything that I've done for my kids, it came from a place of love. Anything that I've done for my family, it came from a place of love. That's all I know how to do is love you and help you. With that being said, I'm good. I'd rather talk to you guys to keep from crying. But I've been betrayed several times by my family, from my family. And this is so hurtful. It's so hurtful. Like, I literally got into it with my daughter this morning. And I promised myself, I'm not shedding a tear over her, because I've given her all I can give. I'm not, you can say, you can yell, scream. We both yelling and screaming. I'm not shedding no tears. Not over you. For you to turn around and live your best life, I ain't doing that shit, y'all. I birthed you. You didn't birth me. I gave you life. You didn't give me life. Not that you owe me anything, because I brought you into this world. But the level of respect is not there anymore. And I'm a prover. I'm a shower. I'm going to prove to you what all things that your mother is capable of. All things, right? So, with that being said, I ask that you subscribe, you like, and now you can comment because my comments are open. Give me your views on what I've talked to you about my cousin and my aunt. You know, I don't know how they were raised, but it's weird. I almost feel as if I wasn't raised in the same family. I feel as though I'm an outcast of the family. But it's okay. I will persevere. There's another roadblock that I'll get over. And I just ask God to continue to cover me. That's all. That's all I can do. So please like, please comment, please subscribe. And I love you for free. Peace.